There is no sound at the moment, right?
Right. I'm asking everyone to stay muted, please, till the music stops.
Good evening, friends. We are at John Forster's house. This is John Forster, one of my collaborators, and I guess I'm one of your collaborators as well.
Yes.
So we collaborated on this song. We're starting with Calling All Dummies.
Changed the life I led, turned around my head. I haven't been the same since the day I read. Investing online for dummies, which led to buying on margin for dummies. That led to home equity loans for dummies. And though I'm on a losing spree, it's gonna be alright, you'll see. 'Cause I just picked up bankruptcy for dummies.
I gave my daughter dating for dummies. Then she bought planning your own wedding for dummies. Then he bought anger management for dummies. Has it been painful? Yes, of course. At least they've got this great resource. Handling your own divorce for dummies.
Where everything you need to know is laid out neatly in a row to give your life an easy overhaul.
When every illustrated tome says pick me up and take me home.
It's the siren call
On the yellow wall,
calling all dummies. I gave my wife trompe l'oeil for dummies. She gave me plastering your walls for dummies. Then wood rot and termite repair for dummies. And now I'm down to crumbling brick. My back is out, my heart is sick. So I picked up selling your house quick for dummies.
I hadn't realized ancient Greek was just the thing I yearned to speak until I saw it on my visa bill.
And every time I buy a book, they simply bait another hook
with a pointless thrill
of a useless skill, calling all dummies.
Giving up smoking for dummies led me to self-realization for dummies, led me to finding inner peace for dummies. But I'll never find my inner peace until the day that they release Giving Up Dummies for dummies.
I'm all done with dummies.
I'm all done with dummies. And so you guys,
dummies.
No more dummies. No more dummies.
Yeah. Break the ice.
Well, I didn't introduce myself. I am Tom Chapin, and this is John Forster, and it's a Wednesday night, and we are doing a collaboration. John and I met, let's see.
It was 83, something like that.
83, and we met through John's wife, Vicky Forster, who was a wonderful singer and actress, and she was working with my brother Steve on a musical that never happened about the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yet.
Good. And then we did some Cabbage Patch records, and I think Steve said to Vicky,
Yeah, I remember Vicky came home from working with Steve one day, and she said, Steve said, "Can John write fast?" And she said, "Oh yeah, he can write fast. He can write slow. He can whatever you need." And we ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff for Parker Brothers records.
Yeah. Of course, the Cabbage Patch record was a triple platinum or some ridiculous thing.
That was fun, yeah.
And we did it in about 3 weeks, the whole album.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple more, and then a few years later, toward the end of in 1988, I came to John and said, I want to do a children's record, and would you help me? And he said, yes.
I can write fast. I can write slow. Yeah. So we wrote about 6 songs, and you took them out to A&M Records, and they said yeah, and that was the beginning of a lot of albums for children.
And that was the first one called Family Tree, and we had a number of the kind of, we invented Tom Chapin as a family artist together, and I learned an enormous amount from John, and
vice versa.
I probably had slowed him down, but we did some good stuff together.
Well, you be the judge. We're going to do some. We'll do some children's stuff, and then we're going to sort of move over to some of the adult stuff that we have done for other reasons over the years.
It's been a long, wonderful conglomerate, combination of things that we've done. And here's, I think, one of the first songs we ever wrote.
I think, yeah, apart from the Cabbage Patch stuff, for children, this is for your albums. This was the first one.
And I don't think that you and I wrote together at all during the Cabbage Patch stuff.
We did some group writing. There was some gang writing, but I don't think we did. No.
So here's a song, the title track of that first album. Before the days of Jello lived a prehistoric fellow who loved a maid and courted her beneath the banyan tree. And they had lots of children, their children all had children. They kept on having children until one of them had me. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree.
My grandpa came from Russia. My grandma came from Prussia. They met in Nova Scotia, had my dad in Tennessee. Then they moved to Yokohama, where Daddy met my mama. Her dad's from Alabama, and her mom's part Cherokee.
We're a family, and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree. One fine day I may go to Tierra del Fuego. Perhaps I'll meet my wife there. We'll move to Timbuktu, and our kid will be bilingual. And though she may stay single, she could of course commingle with the king of Kathmandu. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree.
Take one.
Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah. Well, the folks in my Madagascar aren't the same as in Alaska.
They got different foods, different moods, and different colored skin.
Now you may have a different name,
But underneath we're much the same.
you're probably my cousin, and the whole world is our kin. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-grandmother reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree. We're a green and growing family.
I forget all the endings.
Well, it's interesting, that song, because it's been one of the greatest hits. A lot of people have sung it. And John, tell a story about years later.
So this is one of these songs that pops up in odd places. And I got home one winter day. My brother said, "Are you watching Discovery Channel?" And I said, "No, I'm not watching Discovery Channel." He said, "Flip it on." It was a show called Icebreaker to the North Pole, and the narrator was saying, "I don't know what I expected to find when I got to the North Pole, but it wasn't a TV crew of Russian children doing a children's show singing an old folk song called Family Tree," and in Russian. And to this day, I don't know how it got up there.
Actually, I do. I don't know how it got there, but I know how it got to Russia. And that's my friend John McCutcheon did a whole tour with a Russian artist named Claudia probably know who this is, but I can't remember.
We'll
his
get
name.
back to you on
We'll
that.
get back to you on that. And but John did a tour of Russia, doing shows, and then they did a tour of America. And one of the songs that they did was Family Tree, and so that became sort of this a song that Russian kids started singing, which is amazing. Because that's happened with several of these things. But the other thing about this song is that people have been sending us verses over the years.
Oh yeah.
We had one. Our favorite was a family in New Jersey adopted a little girl from China, and they sent us this verse. Well, Malin comes from China. She moved to Carolina, where she met her sister Dinah and her brothers Ray and Lee. 'Cause families now are blended, and it's really rather splendid how people worlds apart can still become a family. Which is really a lovely verse. Of course, they sent us 5 verses, and we've kind of worked. Michael and John and I said, we made this lovely verse out of it. And of course, John Forster always does his thing live, which is, my grandpa came from Brooklyn. My grandma came from Brooklyn. My daddy came from Brooklyn, and my mom's from Brooklyn too. Well, I was born in Brooklyn. My kids were born in Brooklyn. We all moved out of Brooklyn. Hey, you got a problem with that? And that's always a big yuck.
Yeah. John Cobert. That's John Cobert's
John
verse.
Cobert, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the first things we talked about together was, okay, what are we going to do on a kid's record? What's the idea?
And one of the things that we've kind of made a staple of is inventing these games for kids to play. A song that is a game. And we've teed one up here. This is it. Yeah, let's just launch it.
You start?
Fell off my bike and it got bent. Uh-oh, accident. Oh no, bike bent. Accident. So that's the pattern. And now we start playing the game.
Picked up a hammer and I hit my thumb. Uh-oh, accident. Oh no, poor thumb. Accident.
Jumped in the lake with a flying leap. Uh-oh, accident. Oh no, lake leap. Accident.
I skinned my knee and I bumped my head. It's a wonder I lived through all the stupid things I accidentally do.
And fell off my bike. Oh, wait a minute. And fell on my lunch and it went squish.
Squish.
Uh-oh, axe a dish.
Oh no, lunch squish.
Axe a dish.
Sat in the yard, got attacked by ants. Uh-oh, accidents. Oh no, ants in my pants. Accidents. You got it.
Skinned my knee, bumped my head. It's a wonder I lived through all the stupid things I accidentally do. Bath.
Took me a bath and I ate the soap. Uh-oh, accident. Oh no, ate soap. Accident. This is the way my day is spent. Uh-oh, accident. Oh no, day spent. I don't want no more accident. Well, the thing about also, I remember having discussions saying, you know, we should take some of the folk forms, answer songs, and rounds, and like what's another one like
Should be coming around the mountain.
Yeah,
Zipper song.
Zipper song, yeah.
A lot of.
And that was quite a lot of fun. And the other main thing about doing the kids stuff was that there was already Raffi and some of the really great stuff for toddlers, and even some of the great Pete Seeger things for younger kids. So, and I had a 6 and an 8 year old who actually sang on the records, Abigail and Lily. That's where they started. And they were too old for the little kids stuff and not yet ready for rebellion and love songs on the radio. And so one of the things we tried to do was say, okay, our audience is families in a car. And what do you play?
Long car rides.
Long car rides. And that became the highest praise, these things. Parents saying, hey, we take your tapes on the long car rides.
But you know what? I think what we were doing, and I don't know if we succeeded, but we're just trying to amuse ourselves as well. You know, if it makes us laugh, there's a chance it'll make kids laugh.
And that's true.
And the parents laugh.
Because
you hope that.
That whole idea of being in big families, and you were, I was, and parents, we're parents, and so we really sort of knew the territory, you know. Also, the people we worked with, John Colbert, we mentioned, and Michael Mark, and the people who, and the wonderful people who are now not with us anymore, Richard Crooks and
Wayne Pedswater,
these wonderful players who all just got it, you know, and they would come in and do it. And Judy Collins came in and sang on that first record too, which was just amazing.
Yeah, and it was a great bunch of people who came in. Roseanne Cash sang.
Not Winton, but
Branford
Marsalis, and
Latest Butto.
a bunch of stuff over the years. And so it was really a lovely run. And for me, as a performer, you know, I was steeped in the folk tradition. I grew up with Pete Seeger, and if you grew up in that, you realize the songs we were writing were perfect for this audience. Now, what's a folk song? Well, it's a million folk songs. Well, part of it is a story song with a repeating chorus. And next week is Earth Day, and
yes,
I remember when we tried to. We had written This Pretty Planet, and one of my fourth or fifth record, I wanted to do we talked about doing a whole album of Earth songs, and we said that, what do you want to do this next record? And Sony said, I want to do Earth songs about the Earth, This Pretty Planet, and one of the guys says, you know, the Earth's not in now. I don't know if we want to do that. And I said, what? What do you mean the Earth's not? Well, environmental songs.
That's why we're where we are today.
Exactly. There it is. So, but I said, in my world, the Earth is in. We're going to do it. So we did. And we have a couple of wonderful guests here.
This is my wife, Vicky, who some of you may know.
Turn around and say hello to people.
And this is Diana Dianuzzo, a good friend, DeeDee. Yes.
Hi, ladies. What a delight.
Nice to be here.
Vicky and Vicky's been involved in the children's records right from the get-go. She was always the kid wrangler, and her voice is playing various characters in various places. Yeah. But this is kind of an anthem that we wrote.
And we're going to be singing it off. Well, we sing it all year long, but especially next week. Let me get the words out so I don't make a mistake. One day she spun out of the sun. Did she know at the hour of her birth that she'd cool and she'd bloom and one day become the garden we know as the earth? Happy, happy Earth Day. Happy, happy Earth Day. From the schools of leaping dolphins and the herds of kangaroo, happy Earth Day to you. We celebrate your waterfalls, your glaciers and typhoons, the sweet smell of your meadows on rainbow afternoons, the northern lights on starry nights, and when the night is gone, the fiery magic of your dawn. Happy, happy Earth Day. Happy, happy Earth Day.
From the fields of chirping crickets and the frogs of blue bayou,
Happy Earth Day to you.
from the highest Himalayas to the mountains undersea, from the frozen tip of Greenland to the hills of Galilee, we're gathering together to raise our voice in song and pledge to keep you green and strong.
Help us.
Happy, happy Earth Day. Happy, happy Earth Day.
Every time I smell a flower or feel the morning dew,
Every time I see a baby learning something new,
I'm amazed again how blessed we are, and it's all thanks to you. Happy Earth Day, happy Earth Day, happy Earth Day to you. Now you guys know this song, maybe the other version of it, but this is the long version that we put in the book, This Pretty Planet. Winds blow, tides flow, shooting stars descend. Our lives begin, middle and end on this pretty planet. Spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Sing till the morning light.
Time flies, ages go by, empires rise and fall. All history led you to me on this pretty planet, spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down,
planet spinning through space. Actually, this song is spun through space. The other version of it, this pretty planet spinning.
It's in 4. This pretty planet
Spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. It's one of the songs used to wake up the astronauts on the Discovery 7 space shuttle. Woke up John Glenn on his second trip up there.
Yeah.
And you know who else? This also is an amazing song. It was a favorite song of Christopher Reeve's family. Have I tell you the story?
I heard that. Actually, I saw it on ABC. It was a picture of him with his child on his knee and his wife, and they were singing
Before his terrible accident.
Before
Yeah.
his accident.
And well, we got a call. Claudia at the office got a call from his mother, who we were going to play in Princeton, New Jersey, and we said, and she called up the office and said, "This is Christopher Reeve's mom, and I know that Tom's playing in Princeton this weekend, and Dana, his wife, would like to come and sing the Judy Collins part because they're going to come to the show."
Cool.
And so Claudia said, "I didn't know what to say." I said, "Say yes." And so she called back. And,
I didn't know that.
Oh
I
yeah.
never heard
And
that.
so the show started. It's the McCabe Theater. What's the big theater there? McCarter Theater.
Yeah.
And was sold out. And the lights went down. And it was after his accident. So, and we were up there playing. And in the back comes the big gurney with him lying on it, and his wife and his kid. And we told her after Family Tree, what are we going to do with this? So doing Family Tree, I look over and there's Dana and her son. And they came out and she sang beautifully the Judy Collins part of This Pretty Planet. And afterwards, we finished the concert and met all the kids and signed stuff. And then they stayed, and I spent about 45 minutes with them. Really amazing family and amazing guy. And, and that's the thing that's pretty remarkable about what we do is that you raise these songs and you let them fly, and you don't know where they're going to go. And when they land on somebody, you just go, "Oh, aren't we lucky at this thing?" You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, I just feel gratitude when songs land, because they don't all land, you know. But each one is, you know, you hope that each one will land in where it's supposed to land. You know.
So here's a song that we're going to do a little turnaround here. This is one of the later kids songs we did, and we were trying to write a song. It was for In My Hometown, I think, the album. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to write a song about the melting pot of America. This is the place where people come and become Americans. And for a couple of days, we were sort of fighting. John and I were fighting this. And you walked in one day and said, "I think we got the wrong metaphor." Mm. And he said, "How about a salad bowl?" And I said, "A salad, but like we're vegetables?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Yeah, okay."
But I remember that was a metaphor that was just sort of starting to be in the air then. It's not like we made it up.
Yeah.
But what we did was we worked it through. In this song, it took a while to write, actually. Maybe
well, you'll hear there's all these kind of little. Well, you'll see.
And there's a mariachi arrangement of it when we recorded the loose solo.
It's really fun.
With a mariachi trumpet.
That's the other thing about the recording the kids stuff was always the sense of it's. I remember Chris, the guy that I can't think of his name now, but one said that children's music is the last bastion of freedom in the recording world. You know, because all the record companies want you to go, okay, are you a folkie? Are you a neo-folkie? Are you a rock and roll? Are you whatever you are? Are you a rapper? And we just said, whatever the song takes us, we're going to do. And you had the chance to do it, and that's where this one took. They call my town a melting pot like a stew or a casserole, but we are not a melting pot. My town is a salad bowl. I appreciate this family of mine. We're tomatoes from a long and sturdy vine. And though we're juicy, flavorful and sweet, we're not the only veggies on the street. My town is a salad bowl. It's full of delicious things, and the flavor that each thing brings delicifies the whole. And you can help with this part. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad bowl. There's many more of these. My closest buddy calls herself a cute, but also says she's got a lot of zook. Zook, cuke, whatever, it's a wash. She's just my friend, I love her like a squash. The spinach family's very, very shy. They don't yet speak the language, but they try. Some folks find the chili peppers hot, but get to know 'em, you could learn a lot. My town is a salad bowl. It's full of surprising things, and the flavor that each thing brings surprise-ifies the whole. Good word.
Yeah.
My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad bowl. My favorite. One of the Bostons married an iceberg. They're bringing their kids up romaine. The Sprouts don't approve, they threaten to move, so we sing 'em this catchy refrain. Here we go. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad bowl. The onion refugees live with the chives, who are helping them start over with their lives. The shallots and the leeks are helping too, 'cause the scallions helped them out when they were new. We're so assorted and so imported, there's no way of melting us down. But different scenes for different greens, our differences strengthen our town. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad. Once more. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad bowl. A salad, of course, gets tossed, but none of the tastes get lost. The thing that makes you unique, uniqueifies the whole. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad bowl again. My town is a salad, town is a salad, town is a salad. Last chance. My town is a salad, town is a salad. My town is a salad bowl.
I was supposed to lay out on that, but I couldn't resist. You know, so. I knew I wasn't going to remember all the words, but
Great.
good.
Oh man, it's a lovely. I do it in concert for adults a lot. After I sing a song about Ellis Island and about people coming to America, and then you sing this song, which takes it, just flips it on its side, but it's also exactly what we're talking about. This the sense of a place that the world has come and brought their best, some of their worst, but mostly their best, and it's all become part of this salad bowl.
Yeah. So this is, we've been talking about the children's albums that we did, but after doing a whole bunch of children's albums, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, we got an opportunity to do topical songs for Morning Edition NPR during drive time. And we thought it'd be fun. We collected all the songs that we wrote for that. Not all of them made it on to the show, but we all thought they were all worthy efforts, and we collected them into an album called Broadsides. And we thought it'd be fun to do some of those songs. It's the adult side of this collaboration.
Do the one. This one came from an actual New York Times article about mice, right?
Right. Our producer there, Neva Grant, said it's got to have a news hook. They got to have some reason that they're singing this song. So this was about a gene splicing lab in Cambridge, and they had come up with a mouse that was 5 times smarter than the average mouse, and they named it Doogie.
Doogie.
So, like, if the average mouse has an IQ of 3, this mouse had an IQ of 15, and in the mouse world, that's all it takes to really put you ahead of the game. So I remember when we were working on this, the idea was we were looking for getting through the neck of the bottle is what you always call it, the way in, and we thought we could tell it from the point of view of this really smart mouse, or we could tell it from the point of view of the lab researchers, the arrogance of science and all that. We ended up trying to tell it from the point of view of all the other mice in the lab.
Who didn't get picked, and for a reason, because they were scared of getting picked.
Yeah, which is grist. So I'm going to do this song, and this is called "When Bad Things Happen to Good Mice." First rule of a lab mouse, never volunteer. When you see that big hand, try and disappear. Hide behind the treadmill and you might not have to go and find yourself strung out on sweet and low. My daddy was in the control group and mama was too. If you're not in the control group, they experiment on you. Ask any mouse in any lab and they'll give you the scoop. You got to stay in the control group. The big hand got my sister, grabbed her by the legs, scrubbed her down with Physohex and doctored up her eggs. We knew her kids when they were born would be a total mess, but that's the price of progress, I guess. Time went by, my sister's kids returned. They took some tests to see how fast they learned. They raced the maze, they aced the hardest part, and then they ran it backwards. Geez, these kids were smart. This control group's feeling dumb and dumber. Einstein in a lab of mouse, what a bummer. We realized the super kid would now become routine. Our next litter had to have that gene. So next time we saw the big hand, we bravely volunteered to have our genes upgraded and our kids re-engineered. But it took us past the smart lab into a land of chrome, where it strapped us down and gave us a shot that activated a mystery gene somewhere down there on our 13th chromosome. My daddy was in the control group and mama was too. But the paradigm has shifted, now everything is new. And any mouse who plays it safe is on a dead-end page. A mouse today is not afraid to think outside the cage. I saw a chance, I took a shot, I was not afraid to fail. And that is how I got my extra tail.
Control booth. Control group. You were in the wrong one.
Yeah. The control. Yeah. Yes.
So this, the name of the album was Broadside, and it's Broadsides, I guess.
Broadside, yeah.
Well, plural. And so we got to write a song about broadsides, John.
That's right. We had the collection. We needed a title song.
And then we remember there's actually was in the folk world there was a magazine called Broadsides.
Right.
That people like Phil Oakes and Tom Paxton and all kinds of younger writers way back then were happy to get into, and
a lot of those got reprinted in Sing Out, which is what we grew up on.
And so we decided to write a song called Broadsides, and it goes like this.
Hit it.
Say C. 2, 3, 4. Every day the news abounds with scoundrels doing wrong, which impels us to take action, which is really, really strong, like expressing our displeasure in the lyric of a song, preferably a sing-along.
There's a name for what we're doing. Broadside is a term, a tough melodic weapon packed with values we affirm. Just load her up and let her rip and watch the wicked squirm as everybody sings along. Broadside, broadside, they cannot ignore us. They may run, but they can't hide. We'll out 'em with a verse, then rout 'em with the chorus of a broadside. We're ruled by corporation, conglomerate, and bank. Congress is in gridlock, the courts are in the tank. If we get out of this alive, it's us you'll have to thank for asking you to sing along.
It was Pete and it was Woody who pioneered it all. They taught Tom and Phil and Mary and Peter and Paul. But the times they aren't changing and they're writing on the wall. Says everybody sing along.
Broadside, broadside, they cannot ignore us. They may run, but they can't hide. We'll out them with a verse and rout them with a chorus of a broadside.
Feel the power of the right notes and the right quotes combine.
Feel the power of the right song to open up your heart and mind.
Now you may think a sing-along is just a silly game,
And believing it can change the world is really kind of lame.
but we shall overcome. Finally overcame, 'cause everybody sang along.
Broadside, broadside, they cannot ignore us. They may run, but they can't hide. We'll out 'em with a verse, and out 'em with a chorus. We'll wreck 'em with a verse, and deck 'em with a chorus. We'll hurt 'em with a verse, then convert 'em with a chorus of a broadside. Yeah.
Broadside. Cool.
Yeah. So we were going to do one more from the album, right?
Yeah.
From Broadside.
Oh, this is a good one. I remember us sort of talking about how to do this song. It's the meeting of science and religion, which is such a calming place.
Yeah.
write about.
Nobody has any strong feelings about that.
And how to put that into some thing. And I remember we were talking about the good book, and what's science? The Big Bang.
Right.
So,
And those seem to go together.
so that became the title, and then the question is how to make it, how to talk about it.
Right.
What key are we in this one?
We're in B minor
B
to
minor.
D.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those ones that took a while to hatch, this one. And then when some of the songs we've written over the years, we thought we could take them all and collect them into something called the Humanist Hymn Book. Because we were both choir boys. And, I don't know about you, Tom, my idea of a great tune is still something from the 1940 Episcopal hymnal.
Well, I mean, we have
Not just that, but-
I mean, you look at Happy Earth Day is a little hymn, and Thanksgiving Day. We've written a bunch of hymns.
Yeah.
And this is not a hymn.
No.
This is more of a kind of what is it? A polemic? Not quite. It's just a.
You decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning was the Word, then the Word turned into data, but the data and the scriptures disagreed.
So the battle lines were drawn, and the battle rages on between two very different kinds of creed.
Science gropes with isotopes and spectroscopes by which it hopes to explain the Big Bang to the people. But it collapses in apses, which perhaps is why you never see a laboratory with a steeple.
Religion deals with faith and myth, and both can help us grapple with the things we fear, like why we're here, the age-old questions. But for a DNA pattern or a rocket to Saturn, the good book has very few suggestions.
The good book and the Big Bang. Different games by different rules, different names and different tools.
The good book and the Big Bang don't belong in the same pot. What one is, the other's not.
But though they seem like oil and water, they could be yin and yang. The good book and the Big Bang. Could we combine our categories stories and put chapels in our laboratories, or put laboratories in our chapels?
Could we insert a few equations on liturgical occasions? Could we learn by mixing oranges and apples? The Good Book and the Big Bang.
Could we put them in a room and not have them go kaboom?
The Good Book and the Big Bang. It seems promising to me, yet throughout all history, it's been a case of oil and water, an endless storm and drang. The Good Book and the Big Bang. With science on its high horse and religion on its knees, they can't see eye to eye, they miss the obvious. But to me it's a no-brainer, 'cause I know there's one container that's big enough to hold them both. Us, the Good Book and the Big Bang. Pour the mystical and skeptical into the same receptacle. The Good Book and the Big Bang.
The one place they can be combined is inside the human mind.
Because we need both oil and water,
We need the yin and yang, the Good Book
and the Big Bang. The Good Book and the Big Bang. Pour the mystical and skeptical into the same receptacle. The Good Book and the Big Bang.
The one place they can be combined is inside the human mind.
Because we need both ways of thinking.
We need the yin and yang. It's good
And it's big.
and it's big.
And it's good. The Good Book and the Big
Bang,
Bang.
bang. 2, 3, 4, bang.
Yeah. We'll edit that later.
The Good Book and the Big Bang. Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
So another cool thing that has sort of happened over the years is some of these songs have been taken and turned into books, and recently Simon and Schuster. Yeah, we do.
There they are.
Here they are. This is like such a Zoom thing. I'll let you hold them up.
Great.
You have your books in the background. So the first one in this series was the Backward Birthday Party, which is
Illustrated by Chuck Gronick, and they're wonderful, wonderful book story. And it takes the words and fleshes them out with these wonderful pictures for kids. And if you want to sing the song on the outer cover, in the inner covers, the music is there.
right. And this one, This Pretty Planet, actually, since we've already done this song, this one is the latest one out, and it's got the music in it. But it's so cool. Lee White is the illustrator, and he just did such a good job. You don't get lucky like this. So it's,
Well, with watching a really gifted artist take the words and bring them into some kind of a picture is really just a magical
Yeah.
process. It's really
Yeah.
nice. So,
yeah.
so let's do the Backwoods Birthday
Backward
Party.
Birthday Party, yeah.
Now you came up with this idea, or you?
My sister Susie, who lives up in New Haven, came up with. I don't know if she came up with the idea, but it might have been an idea that was in the air. But her kids are a little older than ours, and she was having a backward birthday party, and I said that sounds like a song.
On my birthday morning, the sun was sinking low. I put my clothes on inside out, and down the stairs did go.
The house was decorated, but something was awry. The doorbell rang, and all the gang walked in and said goodbye.
At the Backwoods Birthday Party, where everything's out of whack.
The Backwards Birthday Party, the party day birthwards back.
We ate the birthday cake first, which stirred up quite a fuss. blindfolded the donkey and he pinned the tail on us.
The treasure hunt went nowhere, but no one got depressed. So I wrapped up all my presents and gave one to every guest at the Backwoods birthday party, where everything's out of whack. The Backwoods birthday party, the party day birthward's back.
Oh, the ice cream, it was hot.
The candles were not.
The longer we kept partying, the earlier it got. You go, whoa, 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 wow, wow, battle, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. The clock was running backwards, struck 3, then 2, then 1. My party, it was winding down before it had begun.
I said, hello, time to go. I pushed him out the door. And I was 1 year younger than I'd been the day before. At the Backwoods birthday party, where everything's out of whack. The Backwoods birthday party, the party day birthward's back.
The party day birthward's back.
The Backwoods birthday party,
The party day birthward's back.
the Backwoods birthday party.
The party day birthward's back. Backward's birthday party. The party day birthward's back.
Great.
Wow. There's 13 albums of family music that we've done over the years, and a bunch of grown-up ones as well. But what a delight to be able to sort of revisit some of these songs and do it with John.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Because it was 1988, maybe 87 or 88 when we first started writing these songs.
Yeah, something like that.
Family Tree came out in 88. Let's do a song with the ladies again. We have these wonderful ladies here. And we're gonna, after this song, we're gonna open up the lines, and Claudia will get you guys, and we can answer questions if you want to, of any of us. This is one of the songs that every once in a while, you write a song, and then when you sing it, or even when you're finishing writing it, you get a little teary. We're parents, and I remember there's a bunch of things, Together Tomorrow, and this one are ones that when we finished, I went, oh man, this is like a magical thing here.
This song actually, I remember you had just moved up to Rockland County, and we wrote it at your house, and it was the day after I learned that we were going to be parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, these things.
What key are we doing this in A?
We're doing it in A.
Okay. Let's see.
I'll start
You
it out.
start, yeah. Do it again a little slower. The last thing I do each night before turning out the light is check on the children as they sleep. Peacefully dreaming there, blissfully unaware of the watch that we keep. May you grow in your own sweet way and blossom more every day, and follow the music in your soul. May there be time for you to grow.
Tiptoeing down the hall, I think of parents all guiding the children in their care. All over the world tonight, as they turn out the light, whispering this prayer. May you grow in your own sweet way,
May you
and
grow in your own
blossom more
sweet
every
way,
day,
and blossom more every day.
May you grow in your own sweet way. song
there be time for you
and
to
find
your
your
own
sweet
sweet
music in your soul. May there
for every
be
time
time for you to grow your own sweet
music in your
and blossom more every day.
for you
And follow the music in your soul. May there be time for you to. May there be time for you to grow. Thank you. Thank you all. We're going to put on some earphones here and see if we can hear you guys. And Claudia will let you in, I think. Those of you who just arrived, this is John Forster across from me, and Tom Chapin here. I want to thank John Guth, who's been doing the lights and the sound over there.
John Guth
Thank
is
John.
making it happen out there. Thank you,
And,
John.
the video. All right, I got my earphones in. Is anybody?
Okay.
Hi,
Can you
Claudia.
guys hear me now? Hi.
I can.
We hear you.
Great.
Okay, great. So, first, I just wanted to tell you people are really enjoying it, and a lot of teachers are commenting how many of your songs they've used in their classes all these years.
Bless you all. That's one of the things we you get so moved, I do, about the idea that teachers who have such a tough time these days, in their world, and then they find these songs and they use them, and it's a magical thing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about doing music for children is when it gets used by teachers in the schools. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. And we're going to start with Ian Hayden, who has a million questions, but I told him to pick his favorite 2 questions
Okay, go, Ian.
so other people
Hi.
have some time.
Hi, Tom and John.
Hi.
John, what was your favorite song to co-write? And will How to Eat Like a Child be available to watch online?
Oh, that's a good question. Starting with the second question, I would love it if there were a new version of it. The old version was, from the last century on NBC, and it was never made available to rent. But thanks for making me think about it. It should be available. It's a show that I wrote with Dick Van Dyke and 14 kids.
What's the show?
It's called How to Eat Like a Child.
How to Eat Like a Child. That was huge. Yeah, yes.
It's based on a book by Delia Ephron. Wonderful book, sharply observed, and it was really a fun project to do. My favorite song of the ones that we've written, I couldn't tell you, actually. We've written well over 100 songs together.
We for this project, I just got out all the things. I've listed them. There's 111 songs that have been recorded
Yeah.
that we wrote, and a few more that never quite made it.
We have a whole bunch of songs that are recipes. It turns out we wanted to do a musical cookbook for kids, and it turns out that kids and stoves don't mix. So,
Young kids and stoves. Anyway.
yeah, young kids and stoves. So those are sitting there waiting for something.
It's hard to pick, but one of the things going through it was how many, in all humility, how many great songs there are that we've done together, and it's really so it's hard to pick. I mean, it's hard to say, some of the ones we did tonight, the emotional ones are the ones that sort of come to mind. I love Thanksgiving Day. I love Together Tomorrow. It's great, and I mean, how about This Pretty Planet? At this time in the earth, watching what's happening with the earth, that song is being sung, which is great. Talking about
I
teachers.
love all the games too. And I love the ones for little kids too.
Yeah, the really young ones. Yeah.
So some of those are really fun. And also we done a thing of taking classic
Oh yeah.
pieces of music and putting words to them.
Picnic
That's
of
been
the
fun.
picnic of the picnic of the world.
And then we have the
All
Bruno
nations.
Chronicles, which is another. We call it album theater, and those were really fun to do.
Oh,
Every
my
one of those,
gosh.
they were like extended pieces. They would be like 5-6 minutes long.
Well,
and
we
they were
started
cast
with
of
the short one.
characters.
Don't play with Bruno. Bruno is a dweeb, and then we ended up with like Planet Bruno.
Outer space.
Outer space. David Bowie meets Bruno.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for those questions.
Yeah.
All right, next we're gonna go to Sammy Alinder.
Hi, Sammy.
Hope
Hey,
I
Sammy.
said that right.
Hello, I'm close enough. I I just wanted to tell you that mine is more of a comment. Um, got to teach a couple of generations of kids these songs, and one of the most amazing things was when they finally put our school district into a giant building. My fourth graders are practicing for their end of the year program, and the seniors are going past to practice for graduation, and they all stop and they start singing Family Tree with us because they hold on to those songs.
Yeah.
And I had then the children of people that I taught, and kids in class would go, "My mom taught me Pretty Planet," because they hold on to them. And to me, that is the most fascinating and wonderful thing in the world. That getting to do that music with kids and having them do it at home and having them teach other people.
Well, bless you. Thank you so much. Of course, that's true in my life. You know, I can sing. I remember my mother brought home at 78 out in New Jersey, and this thing of, you know, I got myself a carrot seed. I planted it and grew it. I watered it and pulled the weeds. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. I was probably 5, and I remember, and this big brother said, "Yan yan won't grow up." You know, all these things.
Yeah.
And you realize those songs and just stay in our psyche, in our world. You know, and it's wonderful that we've created songs that will sort of live off, you know, go off in the sunset and grow up every morning with young kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for passing the music on.
Great to hear.
Do I have time? Am I allowed to tell you one other thing?
Sure.
I don't want to take up other people's time. I discovered not long ago, when I was researching my own just history of seeing concerts, I didn't find your music, and that's both of you. I also have John Forster CDs.
Cool.
I didn't find you till like the early 2000s when I got to see a Chapin tribute concert and the whole family thing. But I learned my first concert experience in high school, you were the opener. So you were actually the first person I saw on a stage when I wasn't with mom and dad as a kid. So you were my first.
This is Tom or John?
Tom, you were opening for Air Supply in the early early 80s.
Yes.
You did,
Rock
and
and roll
I had
song.
no idea. I didn't recall that piece
Sure.
until
That's the problem with opening acts. You know, it doesn't help your career. Pays the rent, but not.
But
But
thank
you
you for
remember
being
the opening act.
Yeah.
That's great.
being that long stretch of a piece
Wow.
of my musical life. Thank you.
Well, great. Thank you. That's fun. Yeah, I all through the 80s and 90s, I stayed alive. Well, the 80s especially, 70s and 80s, by playing with opening acts from everybody from Genesis to Air Supply to whoever was on ICM. They would send me out with Sha-Na-Na, whole summer with
Really?
Sha-Na-Na. Yeah, on and on. So.
Those are big acts.
Well,
I was
it was
opening for
summertime.
folk acts.
Well, it was summertime stuff, and they had they always needed an act to go on before the lights, before it got dark enough for the lights. So you know, anyway, that was my. I'll tell you, opening act stories. That's a whole different
talk.
show.
And Vance Bass has a question, but I think he's camera shy. Vance, do you want to ask your question yourself?
Sure, I'm here.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
Hey, Vince.
I'd just love to know about your creative process.
Well, in the simplest terms, is just two guys around a table playing, but we're looking for an idea, and we look for an idea, and then we start and we discuss it, and then the idea, and then you sort of try to follow it, right?
Yeah, I think that's very right. It's directed play. And, you know, we've been doing this for a while, so, and we we sort of we basically agree on what a good song is. I mean, we each do songs that we would never do, that we wouldn't write together, which is one of the cool things about collaboration.
Well, that's the other side, is that you collaborate and get songs you never would have done by yourself.
Right.
And that's the great thing. There's a couple of things about collaboration. One is that you have to be open to criticism and open to following where the two of us go, as opposed to, I remember I tried to collaborate with one of my first bands outside of my brothers, and the lyricist, where we said, "Oh, that's my favorite line." Whenever I had a question about anything, "Oh, it's my favorite line." It's like, and we really discuss things and follow it and trust each other. And sometimes it gets to a point where it's like a song has a certain thing. It's working. I remember John especially with Sing a Whale Song. He said, "Boy, this is right. Let me take it home and just figure out the internal rhymes and take it myself." And we've done that too.
Right.
And other times where one of us will overnight all of a sudden have something and follow it and come back with something.
Right. There are songs that are more one of us than another.
Yeah.
And but most of the songs are basically us in a room together working it out.
And it's a great delight in that. In fact, John and I haven't seen much of each other the last couple of years with COVID and whatnot. And so it was just rehearsing for this was kind of emotional, because like, wow, you begin to realize what a world we have with Vicky and you and our kids and the whole thing. I mean, Vicky was the one who wrestled Abby and Lily on that first, and many times in the studio.
Right.
And when they were 6 and 8, and if Dad said, "You got to do it again, girls," and they go, "Dad, we just sang it already," and Vicky, "Hey," and they would listen.
Yeah.
So it's for part of this is the delight of revisiting a good part of our lives, our creative lives.
Yeah.
Well, your working relationship sounds a lot like Lennon and McCartney, and I think the results are equally wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's
Bless
high
your
praise.
heart.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't make as much money.
McCartney just came out with a book of his lyrics. And he had an anecdote where he said he was sitting there writing a song with somebody, and he said, "Well, let's write a swimming pool."
Is that right?
Have we written a swimming pool?
No, we haven't. We've written maybe a sink. Go ahead, Claudia.
I wanted to say that the name you were struggling to remember, the guy who brought Family Tree to Russia, is Gregory Gladkov.
Yes, Gregory Gladkov. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. That's good. The Russian children's performer, and very well known in Russia.
Next, excuse me. Next question is Deborah Adami. Am I saying your name right, Deborah?
No, it's Deborah Adamy, but Deb
Adamy,
Adamy, and
I'm
I'm just
sorry.
saying. That's
Hi,
okay.
Deborah.
That's all right.
We know how
Hi.
Deb Adamy says her name. Hey, Deb.
Yes, you do, John and
Great.
Vicky and Tom and DeeDee. First of all, the memories of these songs. You helped raise my children, and I love hearing the music teacher talk about all the generations. Paul and I are sitting here going, we need to introduce this to the new generation. We don't have grandkids yet, but we're imagining how we'd want to raise our grandchildren with all this music, and all the new children in our neighborhood with your music. And it's just it's just soul nourishing to hear you both play it together. There are many meaningful memories I have because of your music. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
So nice to hear, Deb.
Thanks.
I think, Deb, weren't you, when we recorded the chorus for the song Broadside, we had a sort of a simulated
Yes.
right in this living room, in this very room here.
Yes.
DeeDee was in it too. So
I was
Deb-
trying to sit next to DeeDee so she would drown me out. You allowed a tone deaf person to come be part of the chorus. So that was my only debut of singing.
whatever you did, it worked.
Yeah. Thanks so
I
much.
love being a part of it. Thank
Great.
you.
Deb.
Thank you for your music. It's really important to us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
And If anybody else has a question, let me know. But actually, I have a question.
Yes.
When you're writing, how do you know when a song is finished?
Boy, go ahead, John. You can take it.
I think every song is on probation until you've run it by an audience. So the answer is, even when you think a song is finished, it might not be finished. But also, things nag at you when you've finished a song. And so I think a lot of times we'll go back and fix a line here or a line there. But the test is what nags at you.
It was interesting. One of the things John taught me, I'm a folk artist, and so my writing was always to take it when it was close and play it for people. And John, who has been a professional writer for his whole life, and when it leaves him, often it's in his show or someplace, was always much tougher with me. And he said, "Don't take it away." I don't know if you said this, but I always took it that you did. Don't take the pen away too soon, to me, you know. And he taught me so much about just what he just said. You know, it's like a great old song. It's like a worn step. You know, he just feels very comfortable. You know, and sometimes you have a song that has some places that are not comfortable, and you have to sort of go back and try to find that. And sometimes you never do, but that's the process. And also, the nice thing about collaborators are that you pretty much have two professionals in the room who sort of know. And like when we're writing for my kids' stuff, you know, we've both been doing this a long time in terms of performing and what can work and what doesn't work. And for me, with John, it was always these amazing leaps. I mean, I never would have done the story songs, which are just fabulous, you know. And we just followed this trail that I would never have done.
But on the other side of it, your background as a folk musician, there's a spontaneity and a push to make it into a whole thing quickly that I've always found invaluable. And it's one of the reasons we write together. We write faster pretty much than I write with anybody else.
I'm always looking for again, what the audience can hear and do and stuff. You know, I wrote a song with Scott Ainsley about Julia Ward Howe and about her Mother's Day for Peace. And he brought me this idea that she'd started Mother's Day. Julia Ward Howe did, yeah. and had done it for 30 years. We get mothers together for peace, and it was an international thing. And so he came with some ideas, and then left, and then I started working on it, and then Cy Khan came, and we worked it together, and I sang, and I remember singing it to Scott. And he had not been part of it after the beginning, you know.
He said, "What the hell happened?"
And he said, "Yeah." He says, "You know, this is like this. I mean, it's good, but it's not what I expected. It's like an 8th grade history lesson." And I said, "Yeah, that's the problem. That's the curse and the genius of writing with a Chapin. You got a story song." You know? And but it really was, to my mind, I just wanted people to know what's happening on it, and he wanted much more to have this emotional thing, and he wrote his own version, which was fine, was great. But I remember that my impetus, especially because of the kids stuff, is you want the kids to know you're on the up and down stage, and if you do a Bob Dylan song or something that parents will get all of the nuances, the kids are going. Yeah. But if you got something where don't play with Bruno. Bruno is a dweeb. You know, whatever it is, you know, you find something to keep it going really tightly. Yeah. But you're a theatrical writer. You know this better than I do. But that's
in theater. The contract is that whatever you write, it's got to work for the audience. Yeah. If it doesn't work for the audience, it may be great, but it doesn't stay in the show. So it's a humbling experience writing.
Anyway, it's a great delight. I'm so thrilled all of you were here with us tonight. Let's finish up with a song on the auto harp that we finished so many of. I finished almost all my family concerts with, and we finished all those 200 shows we did as Papa Tom Chapin and the Chapin Sisters on during COVID. And ladies, would you help us?
Absolutely.
Let me get this. Oh, this big guy over here.
I want to shout out to Stevie.
Stevie.
Steve Chapin.
Oh, Steve Chapin, yeah.
Hey, Skeeves.
Yeah, my brother Steve is still up in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
I'm going to take these off
Oh, that's a good idea.
and put this on. Let's see.
Okay.
Where's my roadie here? Here we go. John, you remember writing this song?
I do. I remember this one was a fast one.
But also, you remember, we had written Family Tree, the whole album, and it ended with another song. What's the one? It was a lovely song, but we both said, it needs an ending song. It needs All My Life's a Circle. It needs something, an ending song.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and it was in our old house there, and there was a grandfather clock right here, and we're sitting there, and we wrote it in about, I don't know, half an hour.
And we recorded it immediately.
Because the rest of the record was done.
Yeah, I remember we went to media sound.
Well, we recorded it, but then we got Judy Collins to sing on this and on Pretty Planet and on The Rounds.
Right.
She was so sweet to do that, and then the record suddenly was a lovely thing to have.
That was
she was
great.
so. Now I don't like to say goodbye. I don't want today to end. But we will be happy together tomorrow again. Together tomorrow, my friend. We will be happy together tomorrow again.
You may walk a rocky road.
Your road may twist and bend. We'll share all our stories when we get together tomorrow again. Together tomorrow, my friend.
We'll share all our stories when we get together tomorrow again.
Every day must pass away, never to come again.
Tonight when I'm sleeping, I'll dream of us being together tomorrow again. Together tomorrow, my friend. Tonight when I'm sleeping, I'll dream of us being together tomorrow, last chance. Together tomorrow, my friend. Tonight when I'm sleeping, I'll dream of us being together tomorrow again. Thank you, DeeDee. Thank you, John. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John Goode.
And thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Claudia.
Good night, friends. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Our next Collaborators show will be on Tuesday, May 3rd, and that will be Tom and Cy Khan. But Cy, it's going to be Zoom because Cy is in North Carolina. But be sure and sign up when that one comes around.